What's up, everybody? So I'm not sure how today's gonna go yet because it could either be really crazy or really short, so we're gonna find out. But the first thing I need to do is head over to my dad's because I want to get some scrap pieces of wood so that I can use something to support the engine and transmission underneath the car. For simple mock-up purposes, I really have no idea what I'm doing. This is just my first step that I think is the right way to go. So let's head over to my dad's and pick up the wood. Just got back from my dad's and it's going to be a early night, not a long night. So that's good. We gotta go get the wood out of the car, get it into the garage. It's not a garage, it's like a screened in porch, but it works as a garage for me. And then we gotta get the hood off, and then I'm going to try and install this motor by myself. Okay. Here's what's left of that sad shell. I don't know if you guys know how cheap I really am. Do you see where this is going? So we hook up our ground, and then we supply power to the pump. No sense in not getting every last ounce of money out of this car. Literally. Back to the main event, I suppose you could say. First, let's lift up that hood. What do we got here? So both sides of the hood are held on by those bolts you can see. The real question is going to be, how am I going to hold this when it wants to come loose? I'll let you know when I figure it out. I finally get to try out this new rebuilt 3/8 drive from Craftsman. Thank you, Craftsman, for fixing my stuff that broke of yours. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but at least it's something. So I stuck the jack underneath of it and a couple blocks of wood, at least to hold the weight. Hopefully I'll be grabbing onto it by both sides when this comes loose. Right. There are so many mosquitoes out here right now. That's funny, I can hear all the rust coming out of it. And to think that was the easy part of the day. Well, at least we can get a nice open look at the Datsun. So I'm not sure if Leon welded in this extra brace bar, this black one that spans from there to this side of the engine bay. I know that he was mocking up a few different engines in here before he sold it to me. So that may need to get ground out to be able to fit into there. Looks like that motor mount was cut. There's a pre-existing motor mount, probably from the original Z motor. Let's see, what else we got in here? A lot of rust right there. And it looks like somebody may have fixed a little bit up here. Otherwise, pretty strong. Not terrible. Could be worse. That rocker down there is a bit crunchy for sure. But hopefully we'll be supporting the motor up here, and then that'll get replaced later once everything is known to fit and I can pull everything back out and then fix all the rust. I know, everybody's screaming right now, fix the rust first! I ain't into it. I want to be able to prove to myself I can at least put this motor in first, then I don't care if I have to take it out again and then fix the rust. Please just understand that that is my direction. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit nervous about this, but sometimes you just gotta conquer your fears, you know? Like, what's the worst that can happen? The motor drops again? It drops on the car? I mean, I don't want that to happen, but let's just see where the engine hoist takes us. Well, we just hit the roof. That's as high as she goes. Coming in hot. Ever so gently. Crush that. Yeah, perfect. Little nervous right now. Transmission is now over the radiator support. Another clip on the transmission. We got transmission fluid coming out. That's nice. Oh. That's a funny problem. You better see this. I'm sure this is all the stuff that they cut out of other shows. That's not gonna clear. So I guess let's cut the zip ties and take off this really nice front lip. I suppose this also points out how far off center I am right now. And I'm not really sure how I'm gonna get it back. I think it's working. 1,500 more swings and I should be there. Also, this thing is more of a spear now than it is a sledgehammer. Well, we're definitely looking a little bit better. I might be able to spin it downwards now and get it a little closer. So how are we looking? Okay, a couple of hoses I'm gonna have to watch out for pretty soon. But I think it's time to start lowering the transmission a little bit and starting to, well, tuck, honestly. Let's try bringing her down a smidgen. So that'll be good. That wasn't so bad. I guess let's try scooching it forward a little bit more. You let me know when I'm getting too close to the windshield or the firewall, okay? What was that? Well, thanks for warning me. It should be known, and I should say it out loud, that Anthony Thurston, who has his own channel, I'll put a link in the description below, you should go check him out. He's the brother of Leon, the guy who I bought the Datsun from and who has that ridiculous 700 horsepower Datsun. So Anthony offered to come and help me do this tomorrow, and I didn't want to wait. So whatever happens next, it's on me. Well, I don't think we're even close. To be honest, this is the point when I wish I had just one more person. So I'm thinking about using these pieces of PVC pipe that I have. I just need something to either push or pull down on the transmission side so we can tuck it up underneath, at least until we can get the rest of the engine in the engine bay. So I think I'm going to try moving it forward a little bit. My piece of PVC pipe is most likely going to fall. We'll see. It's a learning process, right? I don't know what I'm doing. Next step, I guess, is lowering the engine down as much as I can. Hopefully we don't take out one of my brake lines. We probably will. We're getting close, but definitely not close enough. I may have to move you guys for a second. Actually, I thought I was a lot closer with that oil pan, but from the side I'm not. So I think we can just go quite a bit lower. Luckily, this has that whole double hump thing going on. You know, the one that I smashed the other day. See where that gets us. Woohoo, it's close, isn't it? We're close, we're definitely getting there. But as you can see, let me point it out. This needs to be underneath here. I mean, we're pretty close. Oh, there's my brake line. Let go. Oh, crap. I mean, I suppose I can always just bend new brake lines, but I'm probably gonna have to. I don't know if I trust all of them in this car already. Okay, so what will that get us? We still got to get that underneath, and we have to kind of move forward at the same time. The plan's going to be lower it basically until the oil pan is just straddling that, and then we'll see how low we can get there. We can always jack it back up. Whoop, okay, we're touching something now. Let's not go any further than that for the time being. Ooh, but I think we may have solved our problem. Look how close it is now. Yeah, buddy. Now is the time to move forward. Okay, I think I just hit something. I hit the suspension in the front of the Datsun. So now that's my problem. I'm running into the control arm for the Datsun. So I gotta get the car up higher. Can you take me higher? Reminder to Andrew, cut that part out. Holy crap, I forgot this was still running. Whoops. Well, at least we got a little bit of fuel out of it. She's dry now. That was the sound of a pump dying. This is kind of a funny predicament. Again, one of those things that someone else would cut out. So because the rocker is so shot on the passenger side, there really isn't a good place to jack, so I picked up this point in the front of the car, which seems to be pretty reinforced. So that's good. Except when I jack up, now the motor is hitting the radiator support. But I need to get stuff underneath the tires because I need to be able to push this further in. It's like a catch-22, and I don't want to put the jack in the middle because how am I going to get it out after I slide everything forward? So maybe I can do it in pieces. Maybe I can jack the left side up high enough to slide one board under it, and then jack the right side up high enough to slide one board under it, and so on, and so on, and so on. I can't even fit the board under it. I'm just pushing everything back. We should stop that. Force is not the answer. Not always. I think the only option is to raise the motor up again, as dumb as that sounds. Because whenever I try and jack the car up, I can't not hit the motor. This should be good. Okay, we'll leave that there, and then we'll jack up a little bit more. You know what else I'm just thinking about right now? I have no way of stopping this from rolling backwards. Okay, we at least got one 2x4 in. Let's lower this side back down. But let me put something to wedge the car. Alright, that makes me feel a little bit safer. So let's go ahead and bring the left side down and then do the same thing to the right side. It looks like we'll just fit underneath there on this side. Now the engine's got to go up higher. This is insane. That was an interesting noise. Let's stop there. And now the $1,000,000 question, did that do anything? Let's go a little bit further. Okay. We're still rubbing on this side. Alright, we gotta go up a sliver more, if you can believe that. Okay. I think that'll be enough. Yeah! We gotta start moving this engine forward before it changes its mind. It suddenly doesn't fit anymore. Okay, time to go down. I'm going down. I'm yanking back. Oh, look at it go. Sucking itself in. I should probably see what I'm going to hit. That's what a smart man would do. I'm not a smart man. Okay. Loosen that up so we don't get caught on that. Okay, we're hitting one of the makeshift mounts, it looks like. Or the strut bar, whatever you want to call it. And we're also not centered, weirdly enough. Oh, we're not on it. Okay. We're just a little kilter. A little off kilter. Can we go back any further? Yes. Yes. Okay, now what? I think we want to go down a little further. Getting close though. What the heck was that? Down and forward, down and forward. More of the same. Now what? very, very close to a brake line right now, with basically the entire weight of the engine on it. So let's try not to hit it. I think our next step is to take the jack underneath and try and lift up on the transmission a bit. That way I can lower the front of the motor. It sounds good in theory. So the theory works. Put the jack underneath the tail shaft. Started jacking up at the end of that, which causes the front of the motor to start to level itself out. But we're still a ways from hitting the cutout in the floor where the original transmission came through. So we're gonna have to lower the motor a bit more and try and tuck it back even further. Here's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're close, but not close enough. And I am very well aware that my dream idea of having it come out in the stock location may not happen. I may have to grind away that little spot, but let's try it first before we go torching anything. I got a ways down to go. Next thing I'm going to hit is the exhaust manifold on the steering shaft. Okay, I think we just hit that steering column. Yeah, right in the middle of it. Okay, now we're clear. Guess we go down further. Do a little investigating, see what's possibly holding us up. So this side we've got some clearance, not a whole lot, but we've got some. And if we head on over to the passenger side, I'm right about to run into those brake lines. And whatever this is. Oh, my fuel lines. Yeah. Should probably get them out of the way. But I think I still got to come down even further. Quite a bit, actually. I think the transmission has to come up just a little bit more. I think I have to come down even further just so I'll have enough room to shove it over to the driver's side. And I think the transmission comes up again. Well, how's it look? So I just want to take the time to marvel at it before anything else gets ruined. Remember people, I have never done anything like this before in my life, especially on my own. The closest thing I ever came to doing this was a little small 4-cylinders of the Triumph Spitfires and the MGBs, but that is nothing like cramming a V8 into a Datsun. I definitely know one point that it's already going to have to come all the way out for. Obviously it would have had to come out for the motor mounts anyway, but this mock-up testing purposes, if I want to flip the exhaust manifold upside down and have the exhaust go up this way, that alternator is going to be a problem. That's one. There is a support bar. Maybe I can pull up a clip from it from the beginning of the episode. This extra brace bar, this black one that spans from there to this side of the engine. That thing is completely in my way. Without it, I wouldn't have to worry about any kind of sump with the oil pan. I could have a full-blown one and never contact anything. I thought it was going to sit far enough to where the steering rack was actually sitting in between the hump underneath the oil pan, but it's way off. It sits way further back. And we're not even smashed up against the firewall yet. I could probably reroute some of these hoses, which we might want to do. But let me show you where the transmission comes out. Yay! It fits in the hole. I know there's going to be a lot more fine adjusting coming up, but I'm happy that it's there and we're not even all the way back yet, so that's awesome. Driver's side fits surprisingly well. You can see where the stock motor mount would have hit the inline 6 motor mount. So it'd be neat just to bridge those two right there, but not with the steering column right in the way. So we're going to have to figure out something for that. So the next thing I want to do, and this is for Anthony basically, is to support the motor underneath. That's what all the wood was for, and the transmission. We'll have to use the jack to get underneath most likely in all these places. Then let the hoist all the way down, and then take off the spreader bar, which is what we're going to need to get his motor tomorrow out of my dad's house. So let me go ahead and try and block this whole thing up. So I got my multiple blocks of wood holding up the transmission in the back, and then I have a piece of wood between the smashed part of the oil pan and the power steering rack. Well, there's no more weight on it anymore. Chain is loose. So now we gotta try and get this whole thing apart. I think the other side's held on with a nut. What are the odds that it's a 12mm? And I've already got the right socket I need for the job. Place your bets. Oh, it's bigger. Sorry to everyone that bet on 12mm. Better luck next time. So something that just happened, heard a very large bang, and then the motor dropped slightly on one side, but it didn't fall all the way down. So we're still good, we're still good. I don't know what just happened. I hope you guys are as excited for this as I am, because look at it. There's a V8 sitting in my Datsun. It's really awesome. I'm not sure if that's translated enough through this show, but I mean, this is so cool now. Here's a dent I didn't notice before. But it's so cool now. I mean, there's a Ford V8 in my Datsun. It certainly looks roadkill, the part anyway, but I mean, it's in there. That's basically where it'll be. And if we look inside, it's almost as Ford intended it for it to work. Alright guys, well that's definitely going to wrap up this episode. I'm very hot, but I feel extremely satisfied. It sounds weird when I say it like that. But that's where we're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for watching $1,000 Car Guy, and I can't wait to see you on the next one, where we will continue the Datsun V8 swap. But it's in there!